day to everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello to you all.
Yes, nice to be here again and to have all of you listening in. Yes.
Kaya yung mga loyal na nakikinig, maraming salamat.
Baga may
sa presence ninyo.
suking.
Alam nyo,
Yeah.
araw-araw
Tita
pag
Socorro
nanonood.
is able to be with us again
Yes,
after
sorry.
her.
Absent ako.
Welcome
No,
back.
don't be sorry. That was a time for self-care. Very good. Everybody needs
yes.
our self-care time.
Oo nga. So kasi maganda minsan when you're together, there's an exchange of ideas coming from another angle. Kasi,
Okay.
so it's always best to
Tsaka it's nice when we hear contributions, no? Even from our audience, yung mga nanonood.
bibigay ng comments.
Oo, very,
Yes, they had.
very helpful.
last time.
Very, very beneficial for everybody.
Yeah, keeps
nyo?
the conversation interesting.
Kasi election fever pa rin So hindi pa hanggang Mayo ito. Nakikita natin how things are shaping up now in the political landscape. But still,
Talagang mainit ang labanan.
may survey, all of this are coming out. But yet sometimes, at the end of the day, when we condition ourselves with just the surveys and not look at the qualities of the leadership,
Yeah, kailangan makinig tayo. Observe. Magtanong.
and we should weigh, we should weigh. Kasi minsan, you just vote for the lesser evil na lang Minsan, ganun yung nangyayari. Pero
Or
on the
kung
end,
sino yung popular doon. Baka meron hindi masyadong kilala. Pero
Kaya nga
mahusay.
sinasabi ngayon, one factor sa mga elections, yung name recall.
Yes.
Kasi yung mga tao, sino nga ba yung napanood ko sa TV?
Ayun.
Hindi ba? Yun ang maaalala nila.
Popularity
Whereas there are people naman talaga, may listahan sila. As in talagang sinusulat nila yung mga pangalan na pinag-aaralan nila. Bawat taong ilalagay nila dun sa balota.
Oo, check din nila talaga.
alam nyo,
We have to vote intelligently. Oo.
you look, right now, unfortunately, yung timing of the change of leadership, may election
Oo.
And so many issues are not being addressed anymore, from availability of fertilizers for farmers, rising basic commodities, in prices of commodities.
Yes.
Because-
Oil prices. mga-
Everything,
Even
sugar,
education.
rice.
Education.
The
number one
return
na
to
problema,
person
oo.
face-to-face. na
Yeah, it's not
schools,
being
oo.
addressed anymore. Yung parang, normally, there has to be a transition team that is obviously trying to inform everybody.
Oh, make sure things are still
Yeah,
running smoothly.
but the fact that nobody tends to explain, what's going on? Bakit ang asukal ngayon napakamahal? Bakit ang rice, dinidikta nila na baka magmamahal pa rin? So these are
yes.
things that are crucial for ordinary Filipinos. Kasi
certainly,
pagkain yan
all of us affected niyan.
The inflation due to the economic changes that's occurring because of the war sa oil and everything, no? So nakikita rin natin siya yung mga supply chains. These are things that, no matter what you say na, look, we're still going to address the road issues. We want to prioritize the build because it brings about economic activity in places where roads are being built. But yet at the same time, one has to consider this fact, no? Ako nga, I was talking to, it's quite prominent in the social circle this morning. It's my guess. And yung relative niya has a high position in this government, no? And nag-uusap kami, he asked me, okay, what do you think of this situation? Well, one thing that we're so used to as a country and a government, we have so many laws, we have so many, kumbaga, hindi tayo nagkukulang sa mga plan of actions, hindi tayo nagkukulang sa mga studies and research.
Oo. Implementation.
Ang
laging
nagkukulang,
kulang.
people who are grounded.
Yes.
Yes.
Kasi kahit na may implementation
people,
ka,
yes.
ang tanong mo, how grounded are the people implementing such laws and procedural activities of government on the ground? Instead of, kasi nakikita natin, masyadong masyadong
Yung mga down to
influence,
earth
ang
dapat.
influence
Oo.
ay nagagaling sa central. So many line agencies of government rely on what is the central decision
Yes.
to apply themselves in every region or every town. Kasi, kumbaga na siguro concern nila yung pondo, budget,
first.
or kailangan,
First thing under mind, pondo.
kailangan kasi kung yun ang sigaw yun ang agenda ng ating liderato, so yun ang iba-broadcast natin at bibigyan natin ng pansin. So many good programs that was put on the ground initially by the previous administration has to be replaced.
Papalitan yan.
Papalitan.
Oo.
So,
Every new admin may sariling
so ngayon,
priority.
if you hear the leadership, ang daming, bill pa rin kami. Connect all provinces with good roads, good bridges. No doubt about that. That's beneficial. But yet, at the same time, the central government will decide on the designs of the highway. Ito na yung ating model, kaya kailangan ito, ulit-ulitin nyo na lang sa lahat ng sulok ng Pilipinas. So dito sa atin sa La Union, nakita natin, maliit na bayan na San Juan na papuntang San Gabriel, yung kalye namin.
Ang highway.
Tapos,
Expressway. Ang
tapos,
lapad.
Kukunti naman ang tao.
bibilangin nyo kung
Tricycle.
ilan yung gumagamit. Nakikita nyo yung tricycle,
Napupuno siya ng bilad na palay,
Ng palay.
o mais.
So nakikita nyo ngayon, tapos, wow, kita mo, sa Karatula, bridge.
Milyon-milyon.
Napakalaking bridge yung ginagawa nila. Yung ilog, napakaliit. Pero kasi yun ang model na kailangan tularan na ginawa ng Central.
Imbis na ibagay sa lugar,
Oo,
Juan,
kasi-
at saka sa needs ng
And
tao
to think,
roon.
there was already a good road there before.
Exactly.
Meron
Oo
na,
nga.
tapos
Maganda naman
sinira
yung
yung
kalye.
dating kalye at ginawa ng bago.
Kasi dapat sana, in-improve na lang yung kalye, tsaka kung ano man ang kailangan ayusin nyo. Huwag nyo na baguhin yung tema. Kasi sabi nila, kasi kailangan ng mga kalye ngayon, ganito katataas kasi may baha eh. Ang tanong mo,
May baha pa dun.
may baha ba dun sa lugar na yun?
Hindi naman lahat binabaha.
Ina-apply nila lahat ng mga kung ano dinesisyon ng
Kumbaga
central
dekahon. Kung anong
Tapos sabi nila, okay, lahat ng tabi ng bridge, yung padating ng, kunyari, ito ay waterway, lahat dapat, para maprotektahan yung bridge, lalagyan natin ng dike. Yung ganon.
I noticed.
Kumbaga
kahit hindi kailangan.
kahit kano kalakas ba yung flow ng tubig dyan? How often ba lumalaki yung tubig?
At saka ganun kalaki nga.
Saka alam nyo
no?
kasi, kaya ako
Maliit lang
sinasabi,
sa
pagdating
ibang
sa
lugar.
baha, bihira na lang bahain yung Region 1 eh. Dahil
Kulang
may
nga
climate
kami sa
change, kulang nga
ulan.
tayo sa tubig. So these are things, hayaan mo na lang sana lagyan ng mag-bill ka sa mga lugar ng mga magsasaka para makapondo ka ng tubig.
Ayun nga. You have to
Yun
save
sana.
water.
Mga priority.
Priority
Needs.
project. Tapos sabihin mo, okay,
According to our needs.
yeah. Tsaka that means, pinag-aaralan nila ng husto. Tsaka may koordinasyon, hindi yung implementation, sabihin lang sa inyo, from the top, ito ha. Tapos humingi na kayo ng mga
Walang
pondo.
needs analysis.
Mag-request na kayo ng mga pondo. Sige, ganito. Kasi may mga ano yan, may sistema yan eh. So at the same time, makikita mo na, hindi, ito, ano na namin to, may estimates na kami rito, ganito kamahal to, ganito, ito yung halaga niyan. But yet, yung homework na kailangan gawin. Kaya yung binanggit ko rito sa aking bisita, they're building a road in places where you don't need such a road. And then you destroy, you scar the mountains, you scar everything, and it furthers degradation,
the environment.
the environment, then it will cost more money in the long run to maintain it. So these are things that are, and then you ask, wow, katulad dito sa malapit, they're building a 2-lane road. Ang gumagamit, tricycle. Tsaka
At saka
motorsiklo.
motorsiklo.
Tricycle.
Kahit nga tricycle, hindi masyado. Dahil mataas eh.
Oo nga.
So mga nagmumotor. Yun lang ang gumagamit. Tsaka mabibilang mo yung gagamit. Pero nagawa ng kaling napaka. So marami rin nagsasabi ganito yan. So there's a
future
mayor here,
traffic ba?
one of our mayors.
Oo.
He likes to. His town has several waterfalls,
Ah.
beautiful waterfalls, but people cannot go there because of accessibility.
Marami kasi lalakad ka.
Lalakad ka.
Which
Kaya,
nice naman yung walk.
so maraming
Good
nag-iisip
exercise.
ng mga mayor o liderato, sige, gawa tayo na gawa ng kalye. Ang sabi ko naman is, may comment na gano'n, sinabi ko, dapat bigyan nyo ng pansin na hindi masisira yung reason why pumupunta yung tao doon.
Yes.
Oo.
Huwag nyo isipin na yung
Gusto
para
namin yung
makarating yung
nature.
tao ron mismo kung saan yung gusto nila makita ng scenery para mapadali sa kanila. So, anong ginagawa natin? We're catering for such visitors on a very short-term basis because sooner, mawawala na yung ganda nun because of the road that you built.
Oo.
Ayun nga, nasisira yung
You
nature.
fragment
Oo.
the natural system. Once you fragment it, kung waterfalls yun, wala ka ng tubig.
Oo, nauubos yung puno.
Ang
sa
dapat bigyan mo ng
gawa
pansin.
ng kalye.
Yung ganun ba? So, again, for leadership, we find, in many countries that are progressive, you will find a real thought process is always being applied. When the thought process is there, like in the Philippines, there's no question of very smart people here. Ang daming matatalinong tao rito. Yung mga researchers, yung mga planners, yung mga assessors. Ang tatalino talino ang Pilipino There's no question on that. But yet, you will find the conditions that we have today. Is it improving? We may have all these roads, but yet the plight of the income of Filipinos. Are we self-sufficient in food? Are we totally dependent on loans? Are we? Ang daming
Oo,
Tsaka
baka naman yung galing nila hindi nalalagay sa environment.
Tsaka ano rin,
Taking care of the
consider the
environment.
masses,
Yes,
the
of
greater
course.
majority.
Yes.
Kung sabihin mo maraming roads, wala naman sasakyan yung mga masa.
Hindi na kaya bumili
Mahal na rin
ng
ng gasolina, hindi
gasolina.
ba? Tapos
Diesel.
important yata, makakain sila, hindi ba?
Makakain.
That would have
Yes.
the
Yes,
important
basic-
needs of the
basic
masa.
basic
hindi ba?
necessities. Ibig sabihin
Kaya
yan.
nga tubig sana ang kanilang
Water,
lagyan
malinis
ng
ang hangin,
paraan.
masustansyang pagkain, edukasyon ng inyong
Mga bata.
tao, tapos yung mapapili, at saka Medicare.
At saka, isa pa yung, di ba, sana kung sinunod nila at in-implement talaga yung organic law, which we don't have to import lahat ng mga
Yes.
chemical fertilizers.
Yes.
Eh di sana marunong na tayong mag-compost, marunong na mag
Tsaka
sanay na yung mga halaman mo
maganda na yung
sa
mga
organic.
lupa.
Alam nyo,
hindi ba?
isa pa to, pinag-uusapan namin yung aking bisita kanina. Kasi ano nga siya well-connected siya So sabi ko, tinatanong niya ako Sabi ko, on the farm side, you don't have people who are grounded.
Sanay sa old way, puro chemical.
Yeah, the grounding of your managers, going on the ground, feeling what is feasible and what is not. Not just merely, kumbaga, based on shallow research or projection only, but factual. What is taking place on the ground? And you make decisions based on it. Sapagkat, for example, sa pagkain, pag hindi ka nag-aano sa pagkain, hindi mo ginagawa ng paraan yung pagkain. Katulad ngayon, sinanay natin ng mga sariling magsasaka natin na gumamit ng chemical. Nagkaroon ng 2 years pandemic, so nagkaroon ng problema sa supply chain. Dumagdag yung digmaan sa Europe. So,
Kung saan pag gumagawa ng chemical
kung saan pag gumagawa yan ng
Oo.
30% ng chemical fertilizer galing Russia.
Oo.
So, it only means, buti sana kung may makukuha kang fertilizer.
Oo nga.
Kung wala, which is happening today.
Ang meron yung natural fertilizer.
Yung natural fertilizer.
Pero yung
walang
ating
problema.
mga soil, hindi pa handa. Yung farmer, hindi pa handa. to
Hindi
use
alam
that.
ng magsasaka
At
kung
saka
paano
yung
gagamitin.
seeds na pinoproduce
Yun.
are so dependent on chemical fertilizer.
Exactly.
Hindi mga heirloom seeds
Yeah.
na will naturally grow with compost. Hindi
So, we're
ba?
So when
coming
you
up.
talk about grounded, literally pa rin, yung soil natin, kailangan patabain natin.
Pati yung mga tao. Kasi like now, I have 2 farm projects right now. This is on a private basis. No?
Tatlo na, including this.
Oo. Ano nyo? ibig sabihin nun, both lands are under rehab. I-rehabilitate ko yung lupa.
Takes time to rehab.
Pag ako tinanong, ano ba yung process that will for nature to rehabilitate the land? Sabi ko, you leave it fallow or wag mong gagamitin for 3 years. Let everything just grow. After 3 years, saka mo buksan.
na tubo
Ipahinga mo.
Pahinga mo ng 3 taon, tanggalin mo yung mga chemicals, tanggalin mo yung... Let the natural soil biota
thrive
again. Kasi for as long as there's chemicals, there's herbicides, or whatever chemical you put in there, you kill your natural soil organisms.
Yes.
No? Kaya, sabi ko, look,
palala ng palala ang soil.
itong pinaproject ko ngayon, kung alam mo ginagawa mo, you can shorten the process. But you have to always bear in mind the time that nature takes for it to rehabilitate fully. You have to always respect that component just so that you are assured in 3 to 4 years' time, yung lupa mo, maganda na. Then you can grow food. You grow nutritious food. So these are simple things, plus water is an issue.
Correct.
So when we talk about leadership, when you see these things taking place, there has to be questions to be asked. Why does such situation take place? May kasabihan nga dito sa ating bansa. If we can control corruption by 30%, in our country, just by 30%, makontrol natin yung corruption sa Pilipinas. Hahabulin natin ang Singapore.
Ako,
Wow, biro mo, no?
ang laking improvement.
Oo, pero talaga kailangan pumili
Yun lang.
tayo ng hindi corrupt. No?
Hahabulin mo yung
Mamili
yung
na tayo
ganda ng
ng
Singapore.
mabuti.
Uunahan pa na. Can you imagine if it's 50%?
Yeah.
You go to places like Mindanao. Mindanao is the land
Beautiful.
of the promised land yan
Oo.
Ideal, everything is so
O,
ideal.
pumili na kayo mabuti para
That
naman.
whole Mindanao can feed the whole country's nutritional needs if managed right. Because, look, Singapore is a small island country.
Oo nga.
Maliliit lang na lugar na yan.
Pero nagagawa nilang paraan, yung
Nagawa
kanilang mga
nilang
vertical
paraan.
farming.
Tayo naman, ang ganda-ganda ng ating kalupaan. Ngunit,
Sayang.
ito nga sayang minsan yung sinabi mo, wow,
Tinatakpan lang ng simento.
ang tatalino ng ating mga tao nag-aaral Marami tayong mga lideratong nag-aaral talaga pero
Nasaan na sila?
okay, where's it going to be put to use? Kasi nation building pa rin tayo. Hindi na nga tayo natapos sa nation building for so many years.
Oo.
Yeah, ongoing.
Gumigiba pa nga.
Ongoing.
Hindi nagbi-build. Minsan nasisira kung ano yung
So that's why when we are to elect our leaders, let's go back to basics. What are the needs? What are the issues to be addressed?
Yeah, who cares about
At saka
our
kasi,
real needs,
a good
no?
choice of the people on top, sila rin ang pumipili ng ina-appoint nila sa baba,
Yes.
hindi ba? So sana yung matalino yung very clear-headed yung nasa top para naman yung mailagay sa pwesto
Maayos.
rin, maayos din, hindi ba?
Kaya nga binanggit
Tsaka minsan, hindi rin yung talino lang ang kailangan. Marami pang qualities
Common
na
sense and
kailangan.
practical.
Yes.
Yes.
At saka may
Grounded
puso.
leadership.
Oo.
May
May
puso.
karakter siya na tama, may karakter siya na talagang, alam mo, kung ang kanyang ari-arian ang asset niya at liabilities niya, di ba may ganon? Kailangan i-file mo. Kunyari,
Statement of assets.
Statement of assets mo kunyari, nung bago ka umupo na maging liderado ka, sabihin natin, meron kang, you're worth 4 million pesos. May mga ganyan. Dapat yun ang titingnan nila Kadalasan kasi masasabi mo habang sa office sila
Tumataas ng tumataas.
2 years later, yung kanyang
Ang laki na.
worth,
Oo.
tumaas.
Oo.
Alam
O
nyo,
kaya yung sa kamag-anak nakalagay. O
Hindi
sa-
pala
hindi
sa
lang
kanya.
yan.
Oo.
The issue is,
Simple lang ba siyang tao? No?
this
Hindi
has
ba,
to do with, okay,
nagpapayaman.
if the person maintains his integrity, honesty, you will see that
Simple pa rin.
assets and yung kanyang net worth hindi magbabago.
Oo. Yes.
Kasi
Especially
even
not
siya mahihiya eh.
Oo.
Oo.
Even siya, kasi I'm a leader, ba? Tumaas yung aking, ano nga, oh, dumami yung sasakyan. Oh, dumami ang ari-arian. Oh, may mga ganito. Ah, may ganyan. Sasabihin mo, ando siya yung hanap buhay ng misis ko, ganito. Ah, meron kaming assets na gano'n eh. It's so hard to dictate those things, especially when a country is going through economic difficulty. You see, that how can you compare? You can easily compare, no? But these are things that, kaya nga yung binanggit ko earlier, if 30% of the corruption is controlled in this country, habulin natin yung quality ng buhay ng Singapore.
First world na.
Oh, kaya-kaya. But, you will find the discrepancy of rich and poor is
Still bad.
getting
Still
wider,
big.
malayo,
Oo.
no? Kahit anong sabihin nyo na lumalaki ng konti ang income nung
May middle class na.
yung may mga income na yung mga farmers, kunyari ngayon. Alam mo, actually, sa totoo lang, hindi ganun eh. Kasi
Hindi.
kamakailan, may kausap ako mga magsasaka. Nag-usap kami. Paano kaya? Kasi nakita ko na nagkaroon sila ng problema sa rice harvest ng second crop. Akala ko sila lang. Yung pala, halos 3 barangay nagkaroon ng
Oo,
tumuro.
ang dami. oo.
Kalat.
Oh, sabi ko,
Kasi pare-pareho sila ng practice.
Ano man nangyari? It's not the practice. It's you know how when fertilizer are getting very expensive,
Oo.
there are many implements that are changing or not available. What do farmers do? They take shortcuts.
Oh, shortcut.
Or they don't do anything about it and let's see what happens. Kasi wala naman silang kakayahan eh.
Oo.
So then I was talking to them and I
Puro
said,
bahala na.
magkano ba ang nyo sa palay? Magkano ba yung... Kasi sinabi nung
Input.
kausap ko, Sir, kalahating hektarya ito eh. Aanihin sana namin. Pero nyo, half a hectare. So easily they should get at least 40 kabans. No?
Yes.
35 to 40 kabans sa palay. That's parang katamtaman.
Average. Oh, yan.
Oh, ano?
Nakuha nila 5.
Uy!
Oh my God. Oo.
Ang puhunan nila
ang
ang puhunan nilang nilagay, hindi kasama yung kanilang pawis at
Oo,
pagod.
hindi nila kinount yung kanilang labor.
17,000 pesos for fertilizer, whatever it is that they
Seeds,
need. Ito, may libre pa silang tubig. Nakaset
5
up.
kaban, magkano lang ang bebenta nun?
Hindi, ibig sabihin nun, pag minilyon,
Kulang pa sa kanila.
2 lang sako, 2 kalahati sakong bigas.
Oo.
So that's only worth
Nakakaiyak. Oo.
6,000 pesos. Eh, ang puhunan nila, 17.
17.
Hindi kasama yung labor. So ngayon, tinanong ko,
baon na naman
next
sa
step,
utang.
magkano ba kinikita nyo rito sa mga ampalayan nyo, yung mga gano'n?
O, nagtatanim din kasi sila ng
What
gulay.
is your income, your side income on this thing? Sitaw, ampalaya, yung mga ganyan-ganyan. They're going. Basta sir, at least sa isang buwan, nakakakuha kami ng mga 5,000 a month. Ilan silang pamilya? Family, yung younger family. Then yung older, yung ama at ina. Dalawa yun. Tapos may kasama pa isang tao, 3 na yan. Tapos yung pamilya niya, 5. Tapos yung kapatid niya, 6 sila. At least yung kapatid, yung asawa ay nagtatrabaho overseas, so okay lang.
No.
Pero yung anak na nagtatrabaho doon sa bukid na tumutulong sa ama, 5,000 a month. 5 sila sa pamilya.
O, tigo 1,000 lang ang paghahanap.
Per
Oo,
month.
per
Per
month.
month. Eh,
Ay,
sabi
hard
ko,
work pa naman yun.
tanong ko
Talaga,
ngayon,
talaga.
paano kung nagkakasakit kayo? Utang.
Oo. Puro
Paano kung
utang
kailangan
na
nyo sa
lang.
ganito, magtatanim kayo? Mangungutang kami, sir.
Oo. Lagi na lang
Nababayaran niyo
baon
ba?
sa utang.
Nababayaran naman, sir, pero kakaunti na yun talagang nagagamit namin para sa sarili namin. Kaya ako binabanggit yan, ano? This situation repeats itself in many of the marginalized
Oo,
communities
hindi
in the
lang
country.
isang pamilya ang
Which is
dumadanas.
widespread.
Which comprises almost 18% of the community, basta marginalized. 18% of the population. Ang laki nun.
Ilang milyon yun?
Oh.
Hindi ba? Kung 18%, mga 18 million din yun eh.
Kaya no matter what you claim that you have such and such income, that's why I keep repeating, go to the ground. And you can feel the pulse of the people themselves directly. Kaya nga during this election time, makikita mo, maraming tao sumasali sa mga rallies din eh. Kasi, meron silang ayuda, minsan nakakuha, o meron silang benepisyo.
Ayuda.
Di
Okay.
ba? I mean, oops, may
There's
mga
a new
tinatago
meaning
yan,
for
supposed to be. But makikita mo, it's time eh. And we all know that. It's common knowledge on the ground. See, that's why when we have this situation, when people do that, when the people are actually there seeking something to relieve them of their difficulty, it has to do with their desperation. How desperate they can be. You see, if you go out to the farms here in itong mga marginalized communities, yung mga bulubundukin na lugar na walang tubig, makikita nyo walang mga tanim ang fields. Pumunta kayo rito sa amin ngayon, sa mga countryside areas na normally may mga tanim, ang daming mga fields nakatiwangwang. Hindi sila makapagtanim dahil alam nila malulugi lang sila.
Oo, wala ka nang
But
tubig,
you know,
wala
there are
kang
countries
fertilizer.
that are able to solve these kinds of problems. Sa Israel, hindi ba desert yun?
Because their
But
leaders are serious
They
about
develop
production.
a means, a process para makaproduce talaga sila ng
Yes.
food.
Kung sutusin, mas marami tayong resources sa kanila.
Exactly, we have a better weather condition.
Oo.
But yet we are unable to make our land as productive as it should be. Actually, right now, if government thinking seriously, like you're saying, the land that Mindanao has, the quality of soil it has, how stable and temperate the weather is, that can be our main
Hindi masyadong bagyuhin.
yeah, food basket yan. Hindi na katulad dito sa Luzon, umaasa pa rin tayo. Pero nakikita natin, the central Luzon cannot produce rice anymore because kinukuha na yung tubig ng Maynila
Tayong tubig. Oo.
But kasi naman sa Mindanao, a lot of the land is used by multinational companies, ng mga plantations nila. And they use talaga heavy fertilizers and everything. So sana magawa rin nila mga organic food production
Yes.
doon, hindi ba?
Although there are places there who have gone organic, no?
They
Plus-
are.
plus-
Kailangan mas marami
Ano nga
pa.
yun, the land of
Oo.
promise nga yan eh.
Yes.
Anything can grow. Any types of fruit trees, coconut trees, anything
Durian.
can grow.
Nandun
Kaya
din
ano yan. So, when we talk about this, again, I cannot emphasize this enough. We have to make sure the leaders that we select
Yes.
is
Practical.
practical and grounded.
Yes.
At nag-iisip talaga
In
kung
other
paano
words,
ba gagawa
oo.
ng paraan.
Kasi tinatawag natin to make clear head, you know. And this clear
There's
head
clarity in
Yes,
thinking.
clarity.
And the values are actually very strong in terms of kumbaga meron nga sinasabi dito na merong verse na sinabi sinasabi to description for the Kshatriyas or what you call the warrior.
Administrative.
Administrative class.
Yes, sabi heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the qualities of work for the Kshatriyas or the warrior kings, no? Kasi talagang noon, basta ang mga kings nila, rulers, are really very exemplary. You know, talagang
Parang feeling nila yung mga tao under them, pamilya nila, di ba?
yes, oo.
Alaga nila talaga.
Yun ang na alam nila, duty nila yun, na alagaan ng tao.
A higher sense of service. A deeper sense of service.
Malalim yung
Meaningful.
kanilang mga ano.
Kasi when you talk about service, ano ba yun? You define service eh.
Make sure people get what they need. No?
It begins with the qualities of caring and compassion.
Oo. Respect.
Respect. And, humble leaders are always, you don't have to convince them. They feel their
The weight of the responsibility. Oo.
on their backs. And they feel that they should not let their constituents down. Because,
Tsaka lagi sila nag-iisip kung may problema, paano ko pagbubutihin ito para sa mga kabutihan ng
because
lahat.
for them, service is honorable.
Yes,
oo.
oo.
Right.
Kahit magsakripisyo sila.
There's no, kumbaga if you serve your people well,
Yun ang kaligayahan nila.
ano na yan there's a deeper component to such, kumbaga qualities of a person. Kasi those qualities just don't come.
Yeah.
It is inherent to that person's consciousness,
Oo.
so that he can perform his task and his duty to the best of his ability based on service and caring for others. Compassion, kumbaga, you have, kumbaga, it's not just mere, kahit may talino ka talino,
Oo.
may misuse
Oo, hindi nga lang
So, yung-
talino ang
Meron
kailangan
pagtatalino
natin.
mga kriminal, no?
Ayun na nga, sa mali
Criminals can also
ginagamit.
be
Yung qualities nga nun yung
sharp.
yung
At saka yung behavior.
Right.
Behavior importante. May nagsasabi nga, it's not your belief that makes you a good man. It's your behavior.
Kailangan daw ang behavior rational.
Oo,
Kasi
oo.
meron, for example, merong sa history, no, si Joseph Stalin, no. Ang consciousness niya, meron dalaw siyang statement na talagang nakakagitla. Unang-una sabi niya, for him he said, death is the solution to all problems.
Oh.
Okay. No man, no problem. Kumbaga,
Oh my God.
walang tao, wala
Ano
nang
yan?
problema. Parang merong isa ring ruler.
Patayin lahat.
Pag
Ano
meron
ba
siya
yan?
nakitang pulubi sa
Parang
kali,
yun yata nangyayari doon sa Europe ngayon
pahuli niya,
Uubusin na lang ang
papahuli niya,
tao.
tapos sabihin niya, wala na raw vagrancy dun sa kanyang lugar kasi pinapatay na niya yung mga naglalaboy-laboy sa kali.
delikado.
Tapos sabi rin niya, ito si Stalin, sabi niya, one death is a tragedy, 1 million is a statistic. Kumbaga,
Ganun
numero
lang
na
sa
lang yun
kanya.
kung ilan ang nag-suffer, ilan
Ay,
ang
nako.
namatay. Wala yan, write-off na yan, numbers na lang yan.
Naku.
So,
Yan
it
ang-
has to do talaga with the consciousness.
Consciousness.
Ano
Oo,
yung
naku.
iniisip ng tao. Kung iniisip mo, death is the solution, edi talaga na,
Walang mangyari.
Walang
kung hindi
mangyari.
kami
Kasi
kaya.
gagawin mo
ba?
ganito
Napakamali.
populasyon yung issue. Bawasan natin yung populasyon. May
Diyos
ganyan.
ko
Oo
naman.
nga.
oo. Naku, mamili tayo mabuti. Ano?
Kasi baka, sige,
Oo.
kaya nga yan ang mga issue ng mga minsan sa bakuna may mga ganyan na, yung mga ibang tao.
Meron,
Pero,
hindi ba
alalahanin
sinasabi
nyo.
nila, yun sa abroad, parang tingin nila dito sa ibang countries, problem tayo. Kumbaga, yung mga third world, ang problema daw sa mundo. Kasi
Kasi
tayo,
ang dami natin.
ang dami natin.
Marami
Pero
silang
alam mo,
kaagaw sa resources.
Alam mo,
Oo,
pagdating,
tayo,
pagdating naman sa resources, sino may pinakamaraming carbon?
Sila.
Sila, tayo,
sila yung
konti.
At saka resource din naman ng mga tao. Sila nga
Oo.
ang mga
Kaya nga,
nagkumakayod sa lahat.
alam niyo ba, pag sinabi niyo human resource,
Oo,
it's the
malaking
most
resource
important
yan.
resource.
Yes.
Kasi may kasabihan dyan Kaya nga sa maraming ibang bansa na wealthy, umaasa sila sa mga human resource ng ibang
Bansa.
bansa.
Tsaka kaya nga nagkaagawan, kaya nga nagkakagera dahil nag-aagawan sa mga resources hindi ba?
That's why,
Masali yung tao. No?
when we
Hindi
need
lang
to-
yan.
We need to analyze the
Natural
situation.
resources na
You find there's so many kuro-kuros as far as leadership and qualities. But on the end game of it, when you talk about leadership or servant leadership, you will
Yes.
find people, kumbaga true-blooded dyan malalim. It's not something that's in the surface only or you read about. People live those ideals. They go by
Day
their
to day.
day-to-day ideal. They go by yung honor system nila.
Oo.
Hindi lang behave sila pag may camera. No?
At saka pag election lang.
Oo.
hindi ba?
Pag tapos ng election, hindi mo na sila makita.
Oo, hindi
May
mo
isang akong,
makausap.
meron nga ako isang kaibigan who's running for office. So from the beginning, so nagtatanong siya kasi para daw akong advisor niya. Sabi ko sa kanya, it's simple. Go to the people, talk to them, feel their pulse.
Yeah.
Know what it feels like, what's on the ground. Do it. Don't worry. And if they show that you are that person and you're not worried whether you're going to get, you have security issues, and then they find that, wow, this person is approachable. Then this person we can talk to. Then, papakinggan niya yung mga daing ng tao. Sabi ko ngayon, our strategy is very simple for you. Kung nagkangapanya kayo sa mga entablado, di ba, yung mga tao nasa entablado, lahat naman sa selda. Ngayon, yung mga mic ngayon, meron ng wireless
Oo.
Sabi ko, you bring the mic down. You bring the mic with you and talk. Talk to the people directly.
Oo nga.
Mingle with them. Yung ganon.
Hindi lang nag-speech ikaw. Talagang you communicate with everybody.
This is what you call talagang connecting with people.
Right.
Hindi ba?
Kasi connectivity, that's what people likes eh. Hindi yung like, nakikita nyo lang porque may election o may nandyan. You know, it's
Tsaka are you not supposed to be really campaigning to help these people? Hindi ba? Paano mo sila matutulungan? Hindi mo sila kilala. Wala kang alam sa kanila.
Hindi mo
ba?
pinapakinggan ang kanilang mga daing.
Oo, hindi you cannot feel what they're feeling also. Yeah, very important for the leader na meron talaga siyang ganung heart. Kumbaga, clear thinking at the same time yung puso rin niya.
Yeah.
And they
Siyang,
listen.
they
They
listen.
know how
Kasi
to
yung-
listen. They know how to answer. They know how to connect
Yes,
You
with
know,
the people.
You know how in the world we live in, yeah, or even our own individual lives, di ba? You know how there's many things that takes place, which is, if a person is humble, you know, many things that takes place in my life is beyond me. It's not my doing,
Oo.
right? Minsan nga sasabihin nila, oh yeah, it's been arranged that these things will take place. There's a divine arrangement
Divine
taking place,
arrangement,
di ba? May mga ganun, parang, saan nagaling yan? Biglang ma-realize mo, wow, may ganun pala. So, yung mga liderato who is clarity in their vision, maklaro yung pag-iisip nila, may honest to goodness sila, they get those insights, they get those guidance from within.
Oo.
And because it pertains to the people, who are we anyway? We are by nature, we're common we're same We're like brothers and sisters And if you look at it in that view, ganun ang tingin mo, you respect life in general as a leader, your insights will be deeper. Your perception of things will be different. So when you make your decisions, it's based on valid actuations, based on realistic understanding of my role as a leader. And when caring is there and compassion is there, you will find the performance card of this leader, kumbaga yung high marks niya, is based on those insights that he's receiving from within. Kasi yung mga liderato na ganyan, magdadasal yan, will always, may mga ganyan yan
Oo.
Kasi,
Pero we have to be careful also kasi may iba naman. They want to have that cloak of being, spiritual. Oo, yung pala.
Sige,
Wolf
sila
pala,
pupunta
wolf
sila doon sa simbahan.
in sheep's clothing,
tapos
ha?
makikipag-ano sila sa mga pare, mga ganon.
Oo.
Magpapakita sila ng kawang gawa. Pero, may kaibahan nga. We have to distinguish also.
Yes, we have
yung
to
mga
be
tao na.
smart, yan.
May sabi nga, there's a difference between appearing and being.
Yes,
Kumbaga,
merong apparent pero meron hindi mo makikita pero totoo.
Disguise lang pala.
Oo.
Diba? Kaya nga, may punto rin dito, may sinabi noon na the Kshatriya, or kunyari itong mga rulers, has to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties. And for that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order, especially in war. Yan. Nakikita natin yung tapang. Hindi naman kasi natin sasabihin dahil tayo kung we promote spirituality o kaya kailangan hinahanap natin spiritual leader, pero hindi naman ibig sabihin nito mahina yung loob, no? Meron din siyang tapang na kung kailangan niya maggamit ng lakas, gagamitin niya yon in suitable cases, no?
At saka yun, pagka in-invade ba naman ang inyong lugar, di syempre lalaban ka.
Oo, hindi ba?
Para
Ikaw
sa
yung
iyong
unang-unang haharap
citizen.
hindi ba? At saka sinasabi dito rin, I got that phrase here, he has to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties. So it's not just yung sabihin mo, one kind of problem, sabihin natin economic lang or political. Hindi, pati, like, tingnan mo na for this time, pati pandemic, kailangan, medical
calamities,
health,
natural disasters, ang dami
ready
niyan.
ka to help, hindi ba?
O sa pandemic nakita natin may mga ibang bansa, hindi mo maintindihan yung mga leader, parang nakakamatayan na yung mga tao, wala pa silang ginagawang paraan, no? So
Parang
lahat
walang
talaga
say.
covered by a good leader dapat. Oo.
Kasi lang yan the masses of people are going through all kinds of problems. So you have to also help them from all different angles.
Yes.
Kaya nga ang
diba?
tawag dyan, ano,
So
yung-
many aspects.
yung vision ng tao.
Oo.
Kaya nga yung clarity of mind, honesty in heart, that becomes a quality for you to see things in a different light. Kasi a leader who projects these qualities, iba rin yung perception nila. Base dun sa prinsipyo na yun, na ina-apply nila sa sarili nila. So kung ganyan yung standards nila, obvious ba, lahat ng taong pipiliin nila na maging kasama niya sa leadership niya to implement, he will be looking for the same qualities in these
Of
people.
like-minded
Yeah.
sila.
Yeah.
Itatrust niya rin yun eh.
Oo.
Kasi yun ang mga alam niya matitino eh.
Kung hindi
diba?
kung hindi nababayaran yung liderato mo, that will go down,
Yes. Oo.
you know.
Ngayon, ito lang point ko rin na gustong ilabas. Ngayon, sometimes, itong leader ito, bakit ganyan? Bakit ganitong leader? There's also a challenge for each person to become a leader in his own right, in his own area of responsibility, to manifest these qualities. Kasi
Yes.
hindi naman sabihin natin choosing leader, tayo lang naguhusga dun sa mga tao nakikita natin. Pero sa sarili natin, meron din tayong challenge na i-develop yung mga ganung
And we have
qualities.
we need to be a part of the solution.
Yes. In
That
our
means
own way,
in our
we should
own way.
behave
We should
as a
be
proper
law-abiding.
leader.
We should not promote certain practices that will further corrupt your leadership. Ang daming ganun sa atin
Kasi
So we need
after
to-
all, mothers are leaders, fathers are leaders.
Yeah.
Kahit si kuya leader ng kanyang mga kapatid.
Yeah,
Teachers,
oo.
oo.
sense of responsibility and kasi ano yan may lalim kasi dapat yan and then you become a voice
Yes.
of many.
Oo. Kasi syempre, the more leaders we have, the more good leaders we have in society. Sabi mo nga, yung
They're all
corruption.
allies.
Kung lahat pala hindi na magiging corrupt, di mas maganda pa for
Kahit
everybody.
30% nga
Oo, biro mo, laking
O,
bagay.
biro mo.
30% lang.
Di sana kahit tayo yung makabawas doon. kahit konti, hindi ba? At saka some people, if there are people na, kahit, okay, you try to be a leader in your barangay, hindi
Yes.
ba?
Oo.
Let's not leave it, sige, hindi ako politiko eh. There are some people, if you look at Cory Aquino, it was never her dream to be in politics.
Yes.
Neither si Lenny Robredo. It's just that circumstances parang pushed them na naligay sila sa ganong situation na biglang, sige, meron silang dapat tungkulin din sa tao. So, ganun din tayo na kung merong chance or merong pagkakataon, kahit maliit na posisyon na tayo makatulong sa ating mga kasama sa community, then take the leadership role and be a good example.
Yes,
be a good example to
That's
others.
very important. No? Be a good example.
Kasi nga minsan sinasabi natin divine arrangement eh. Si Cory miracle naging presidente ng Pilipinas her whole history, it was her husband na dapat maging iniisip magiging political leader, pero siya yung by divine arrangement nalagay sa situation na ganun. So sa ating bawat buhay, baka biglang bigyan tayo ng divine arrangement na makagawa rin ng mga malaking bagay for others.
Or
Yeah.
even sometimes it's a small act,
In this,
but it's an important thing, no?
in this aspect of
trying
our
to do the right
exercises,
thing.
exercises as citizens to choose our leader. We should always think, choose wisely.
Oo.
Who is the most
Huwag natin
qualified?
isakripisyo yung ating values.
The values come first. So it's important for us to be able to understand that the role that we have to vote is a role that's kumbaga it's an honorable thing for us to do.
Oh,
eh.
yes, definitely.
Diba? So anyway, sa ating mga tagapakinig, marami pong salamat and I hope we are able to share with you some insights and help you make the right decisions based on who the leaders are, based on their qualities, qualification, what they have done, and not just based on the machinery or the popularity that is being caused, but that's being created by, the setup of media today, who can use this. But really, on the end of the day, you choose a leader, how much impact would that person have in my life, I should ask that question before I choose. Whether will my life be better if I elect this person or I vote for this person, or it's just an exercise of duty.
Yeah. And on a personal level, I hope each of us takes the challenge to be also a good example, to be a leader in our everyday lives. It
Be
doesn't
models.
have to always be a big act. Yeah, sometimes our little acts are seen and followed by others.
Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much
much.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, go Palakas!